Yo, what is good, everybody? Yo, the end of a great season for one of my favorite shows this season was How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. They went out with a bang. I think they definitely played it pretty safe with this episode. I want to say that this fight was probably the same amount of time as the Hydras. I may be wrong on that, but I feel like it was pretty close to that type of length, which is fine by me because they went through a lot of movements and a lot of like pretty much fighting style that he has and that he can't necessarily use. One of the things is he can't really block. Seemingly, blocking is something he doesn't do with these types of opponent. We've never seen him really block anyone that can catch him really off guard or push him, push his back to the wall or something along the lines of that. So he'd rather choose his speed and his dodging ability over just going in and taking a full-on punch to his arm or to the staff, which I thought was a very purposeful thing. If it ever comes down to him training, to him ever learning that in this world he can have multiple class skills while not needing to change, or maybe there's more sorcery that he hasn't learned because now that he's in the game, he has more ways of tampering with it. There's a lot that they could do with this show, but just from what we got this week, and just from what we know, just from what I know from some key sources, from some good people, that there is still a little bit more going on within the manga. So I think it's really in the hands of not only the creators, but us, the fans, who have just enjoyed the crap out of this season, to really, let them know. And they need to drop some merch so we can actually let them know through that. Like some doll, what are those, pop figures or whatever. All that stuff needs to drop for this show. Definitely would be in the market. I'm guessing it's out in Japan, because they always have faith in these types of shows, not just these types, but shows that are doing well and already in the West dubbed. They're usually ahead of the game on the sub, so that's hoping that maybe even if it is out there, I can still get some. I'll find a way. If there's a will, there's a way, my people. So with all that we saw, though, from just the battle to really having everybody forgive Alicia, which, if there's anyone out there that also said, after Rim said, I can forgive you, did anyone else say, I can't? Did anyone? There's got to be at least 5 people out there. I was like, nah, it's not over. Like, you are not getting away with that easily. Like, are you kidding me? And of course she does, but at least they did it in a way where I don't need to see her anymore, because that would have probably made me even more frustrated than, finding out that she's getting away with it all. But she does get away. She's not even get away. Diablos wants to pretty much let her live her life like Sasuke on the run, which I can't wait to talk about Boruto. It was kind of a boring episode, but there's a lot to talk about. What's when it goes down to the boys' house, but with this, it also puts on to another thing that I was saying, in the sense of there's a lot going on with the show. If they really wanted to end it, they probably would have kept her there in the cafe, or have her doing a different job or something. But when they actually take, everything into account to what her life would have been like if she tried to stay in the town. I mean, not only that, the guy who was seemingly a problem to a lot of like the devil worshippers and stuff like that, has been snuffed out. Like, he literally got destroyed by the Demon Lord. So if he's not around, are they going to, replace him? Is that also some type of thing that, there's got to be someone at that rank? Seemingly, that's kind of why it feels like she wasn't really the perfect candidate to have, still being an Imperial Knight, but seeing how she knew all the secrets that they probably felt and that they're actually talking about, she knew that the Emperor's done things all the way down to his, ground workers that have done, corruptible or disgusting things that she doesn't approve of. And if that's the case, you don't want someone like that ever getting out and going against you. So I feel like they're taking it very seriously when it comes down to her character, in the sense of she really needed to be on the run. And not only did she hate humanity, being on the run, the first thing she really runs into is a demi-human, but also the kind of messed up part that you have to think about it too is she's probably the biggest target for the Fallen. If not the biggest target, maybe one of the biggest probable causes of the Fallen getting an opportunity to get close to humans and maybe do what she did to Homeboy with the sword. She is the reason why one of the guys got the sword and literally got taken out. So I thought that was an interesting way to pretty much clarify that this sword that he got that turned him into a Fallen was clearly from the chick that we saw with her, or that they've been working together for quite some time. Because it only makes sense that A, the Fallen Girl knew about the plan of getting one of their own inside, and B, Alice freaking admits it. I don't think I need to go any further than that. I rest my case. But yeah, other than her and really Diablo's just going in this week. Oh my god, that move, Odyssey or Abyss. Excuse me, Abyss. Whatever, Abyss something. Abyss make me happy. I was astounded that they actually showed us a new move. I thought he was just gonna hit her with like a crap ton of mines, but that didn't really make sense to me. If he's like, oh, I need to set he needed to set 13 different things. And that also goes to show you that this man is beyond broken. I can explain more why he's broken. You want to hear it? Oh, you do? You in the back? Okay, I got you. The reason why he's even more broken than... Oh, I didn't even pick up a rock. More broken than you know? He had 0 potions, right? He had 0 potions to heal himself. Another reason why that's why he went into detail is to explain, like, in a solo or like a dungeon in general, he wouldn't even have that being an issue. That wouldn't even have came up in the sense of, oh man, I need potion, and then he looks at his potion bag and there's no potions. You know what I mean? Like, that would never happen to him because he was a solo player. He always knew how much he had. He always knew what was the count he was going to be at if he used 15, if he used 20. But this man went and gave them all to the Lifa and will still beat a Demon Lord into submission, not even using spells that supposedly would have had a greater effect. So if they're in a ravine, he could have just like went off, right? He could have did things that would have destroyed the city, that would destroy all the things around him, but he wasn't. So because of that, he set all of these little pocket spaces of 13 within the barrier that she's already attacking, which you could say all that extra magic that Diablo's put forth should have maybe shattered the barrier if it reached up as high as the power that what's her face was using, Clem was using, but I don't think it did reach the top of the roof of the barrier because it wasn't shown. They usually go into very good detail about how high it's gone, and if it is on the level of where Clem's attack was, we would have known definitely, or at least more definitively. But yeah, and clearly he did that spell that it didn't even destroy the whole entire place that they were in. It was almost like it was contained within its own seal. Like he did a seal and then did that spell and sealed her inside with the spell. So absolutely nuts. Remember, he did that too with being relatively smart with his magic points every step of the way. He didn't use any magic that would have made him, needing to get magic points up. Because seemingly, if he's just made these potions, right, I don't think he has any. I think that's just for health, that's for healing. He doesn't have any magic potions, which are usually the color blue. And if you're for Fortnite, yes, it's a shield. um, but I honestly don't think that he had any of those at all to do any of that, because with these fights, everything you're seeing is really just what happens. There's nothing like that he's doing 3/4 outside of the show and then you're not seeing it, nothing like that, where he's like, oh, I took a break to drink 3 times before I got back in the battle. You guys didn't see that, but it happened. Like, nah, bro. Like, this man just went off with no potions, no magic potions, none of that, and still took out the Demon Lord. So if he actually prepared for her, like as a raid or as how a solo player is, which is another reason why Alice is even alive, is because he has trapped himself in his room and trapped himself away from the outside world that he really didn't want to see anymore, because he's been betrayed even as a kid. And he probably had to go to school for a little bit, so he probably was betrayed too as a teenager. So it goes to show you that even within a video game, someone can have a much similar life to you. And I think that her journey that she's taking is pretty much Diablo's journey as well. Someone very powerful that is pretty much traveling and could save someone that's in need or much weaker than herself. So hopefully they do something with her character. I'm guessing that's why she's still alive, or not alive, but she seemingly somebody likes her. You know what I mean? Like, I liked her at first until I figured out what she was about. I mean, me and some people of mine, we kind of figured that she was crooked, but some other people didn't know, and you'd be forgiven for not knowing because she seemed sweet until she wasn't. But yeah, I can't wait to see if there's going to be a season 2 soon, or if we're going to have to wait a little bit. There's a couple shows that are kind of like this, or a little bit more self-contained to its like world or whatever. Like, it's not like demons and stuff. It's more like just humans with cool powers. But none of those shows have really gotten any announcements as of lately. And I see that there's a whole bunch of new shows still coming. So it might not be announced for maybe a month or two, if there's even a coming thing, but definitely keep your eyes and ears open. And if you ever find out, come back to this channel, let me know. And if you do come back to this channel and I already have something posted, we're watching that season 2 here, and we talking about it in this review. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you subscribe and you hit that like button, because it would be greatly appreciated. Not only that, I drop videos as much as possible, and I think this is going to be one of the biggest days of the drops. So if you're not subscribing on the biggest drop day, I don't know what to tell you. You might not ever like this channel then. Alright, everybody, have a good one and take care.